Hey everyone, I know what a day so far. This is going to be my third live. Wow. I am a talking icon right now. I do apologize for that because I am eating and I need to eat. I'm going to wither away to nothing. Jack Campbell did a statement today. I was over at Crimes Unhinged. I actually took over her live and we broke it over there, but I want to do a recap over here on my channel because this evening is about Sarah Boone. So I want to take care of I already said to everybody, when the Adelsons pop up, I drop everything and go to the Adelsons. So let's hear what Jack Campbell has to say. And I'm probably going to be better than I was a minute ago when I heard this because that was a shock to my system. Now I've probably calmed down. Plus I'm eating, so I'm not hangry. So let's listen to Jack Campbell.
Yes. Great. So initial thoughts from what we saw on Tuesday morning.
Disappointment, frustration. The team has worked unceasingly on this case. An extraordinary amount of effort's been done, and of course, worst of all for the Markel family, who's been on an emotional roller coaster for all these years now, and we're literally in the airport coming here, hoping to understand. They still seek those answers. So those were the emotions that we were filled with.
Were they in the airport in Canada, or had they arrived
between? They were in an intermediate.
Okay.
As you know, there's no direct flight from Canada to Tallahassee. So so they were, but they were, some were already in the air, some were just packing and coming. But I mean, to us, this is a very important case. To them, that's their family.
When you say someone, was Shelly coming to, and the parents?
Yeah, I'd rather let them speak for exactly who it was, but
that's fine.
Instead of telling, and I don't want to invade their personal privacy. I expected the entire family to get in, and obviously.
And I know a lot of work, like you said, has been done to bring this case to trial. Jurors were summoned. There were witnesses transported from other states. Can you kind of talk about the burden that this placed on the court
and the community? This is an extraordinary case. We had literally hundreds, 150. I think you all know, were coming in the morning.
Jack Campbell, I thought I was going to be all right because I already blew up at you already. I understand the community. I get that. Tallahassee's been living with this. Nothing should come out of your mouth except for how you and everybody else disappointed the Markels. I'm sorry. I have been a big supporter of Jack Campbell. I've been a big supporter of Georgia Catlin. I've been a big supporter of Sarah Catherine Dugan. I've been a big supporter of Judge Everett. Hell, I sent cupcakes, red velvet cupcakes, to Judge Everett. I've been a huge supporter, but I will not sit here and not call out somebody that's putting smoke up our asses. You got egg on your face. Wash it off. Own your mistakes. Own your mistakes.
So 600 people were summoned for potential jurors for this. Like I said, for at least the last month, Georgia and Dugan had spent pretty much continuous work on this case, as well as all of the witnesses were getting spun back up, as well as secretaries and victim advocates and administrative people. And, a lot of people, it has been done on the bump and the audio recordings. We were bringing in AV experts so that we could set that up. Court administration had done extraordinary things, trying to get 3G set up. You all in the media have to coordinate your press. All of that, there's a tremendous amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, and all of that was ready to go. And while, yes, there's a financial cost to that, more significantly to me is the emotional investment, because we recognize here, Georgia and Sarah Catherine understand the weight of what the issues they're dealing with. I think the judge certainly understands the weight of the defense. And we were ready for resolution. We were ready for answers. And certainly the Markel family is, every time this is a nightmare for them. And we continue to scrape over that wound and open it up again. And I hate doing that.
Hey, Benji, welcome. Benji, I believe it was 2015 or 2016, he took over because that's when they started charging people in this. Oh, this guy. I'm having a hard time because I support them. I understand what their job is and how hard it is and everything that they're going through. Like personally, I understand all this, and I've applauded them from day one that I started watching this trial. But I cannot and I will not stand behind someone that sits in front of a camera and blows smoke up our asses, because I'm just imagine what kind of smoke they blew up the Markel's ass. Honestly, I my mind is blowing for Ruth, Shelly, and Phil right now. My mind is blowing. So Benji says, so why didn't he do more to get the Adelsons back then? They obviously got Luis and Sigfredo, which they also had Katie in on that. Katie had the retrial. They did try to get Katie to flip on the Adelsons. But because Katie's trial was a mistrial, hung jury, she had another trial. Again, they tried to get the Adelsons through her. She wouldn't give up anybody. So now they're a little gun shy because they did a double trial and one they had to redo again. So now they're doing the one at a time. You know what? It's enough with the one at a time. It's enough. Rest them all. So once they got gun shy about doing a double trial, like double co-conspirator trial, they got gun shy, and now they're doing one for one, and look where it's getting us now. Hey, Rochelle, I can't believe they haven't gotten Wendy, just dragging their feet, and I just don't understand why. I get it. I'm done with trying to 100% hold that torch for them, because I'm just done with it. This was too much. Hi, Benji. Well, like Carl says, they should just arrest them all now. I agree, Benji. I 100% agree. Arrest them all, go all in, and then whoever has the best hand. Let them fight it out. Let their lawyers come to you and say, hey, we want to make a deal. Because whoever makes that deal is flipping on everybody. Or there's no deal. And I know I'm not a lawyer, and I know people will send me emails and blah, blah, blah. Send your effing emails. I'm pissed off, and I'm pissed off for the Markels. I'm pissed off that, again, they're going through this. And we all know, we've all seen this. I'm just reviewing it for my channel. We are looking at a year or a year and a half before we see Donna at trial. So where does that leave the Markels? Right now, we're 10 years. That's 11 and a half, almost 12 years before they get another. That's almost 12 years just to get one more Adelson. Then what do? You arrest Wendy. And then what? There's another 2 years. So 14 years. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, guys. I'm sorry I'm a talking icon right now because I did a live this morning. I did a live with Crime Untangled, and now I'm doing this live. So I'm eating because I think Rochelle is hangry. I really think I'm hangry. But go arrest Wendy and Harvey today. I'm sick of the injustice. Absolutely, Rayanne. Absolutely. I don't give a shit anymore if they sit and say, we need Wendy to get emails in. Find another fucking way to do it. You guys are smart. You're clever. Find another way to do it. Looks like the state still doesn't have any teeth. Toughen it up, sir. Absolutely. Put on your big boy pants, wipe the fucking egg off your face, and get out there and do something. Yeah. Steph says the coffee mug is pissed off. The coffee mug said so. Oh my God. I'm sorry, guys. It just irritates me that the Markels could be sitting with a total of getting justice for their son. A total, if you look at it, and I'm being very kind, 14 years. So if it goes 14 years, that means the oldest one will be 18 because he was 4 when his dad was murdered, and the youngest one was 3. So he'll be 17. Isn't that sickening? Isn't that just sickening to hear how old Dan's boys will be by the time they might get justice? Might. I just can't understand it. They will gain my confidence back, and I'm not going to be rah these guys anymore. I'm just not going to be. They will gain some kind of confidence from me back when they go out and arrest every goddamn Adelson that is still walking on this planet. Understand, I do not put Robert in that. I don't class him as a Adelson. He's an Adelson. He's not the Adelsons. The minute they are got the balls, Georgia, put your goddamn stilettos on. Jack, take your balls out of whoever's fucking purse they're in and go out there and arrest the rest of the fucking Adelsons that are walking. They should not be allowed to breathe fresh air anymore. They should not be allowed to do it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm heated. I'm too heated. So many words without any substance. Such a wishy-washy performance. B-Rabbit, I am. I'm outraged too. Robert is a good Adelson. And I know people say, oh, well, Robert's an Adelson too. When I say it, I say a Adelson or the Adelsons. It's just infuriating to me how he could sit there today and chuckle and, all this. It just infuriates me. Don't look here. We didn't do nothing wrong. Look over there. And then not even putting the blame on the defense team. Blame it on the murders. Absolutely blame it on the murders. But this mess that we're in right now, this mess that the Markels have to live through right now, sits on the shoulders of the defense, of the prosecutors, of the judge. The mess sits on the people that are supposed to be educated enough to know the law. Who are they afraid of? Something is not adding up here. I agree, B-Rabbit. Something is not adding up. Yep, spoke highly of Rash. That you should have heard me. You should have heard me. And D, welcome D. Usually I'm not a talking mug, but I need to be right now. My God, my heart aches for the Markels. This is so sad. I think I'm so angry, and that's why I'm angry. Anybody that knows my story knows I am a victim. I went through this court process, so I get heated. And I just imagine if I had to go 10 years, 10 plus years through what I went through, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, guys. And this is what they're going through. I'm just, oh God, I just want to scream. Honestly, I wish I'd changed my last name. My parents are horrible, but not Adelson's horrible. I hear you there. I think Wendy might have connections in high places. I'm so sick of hearing the line. We need her to bring in emails. How is it? So you're telling me none of the Adelsons would have been arrested if you couldn't bring in 2 effing emails? The whole case revolves around 2 emails? Come on. 2 emails would mean that if they didn't have those 2 emails, this is what they're trying to tell us. If they didn't have those 2 emails, the Adelsons would have never been arrested. They would have never been arrested because a conviction on an Adelson depends on these emails to get in. Come on. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have as much education as Jack Campbell or Sarah Catherine Dugan or Georgia Kappelman. And I can see how that sounds so fucking stupid. And you're right, Sky. Like, arrest Wendy now. Enough with the game playing. Enough with the chessboard playing. Because guess what? You're only able to move one man at a time. Come on. I'm done being nice about this, guys. I truly am. What a disappointment Jack Campbell is proving to be at the moment. Absolutely. Yes. Did he start the ball rolling to get justice? Yes, he did. I give him that. But what is he playing? What kind, like, if this is how you throw the ball, I'm glad you weren't a baseball player. Like, come on. Like, this is not, we're not playing slow pitch here. Let's get this going. Wendy can testify at Donna's trial, even if she's in jail. She can take the 5th. It's against her 6th Amendment. Because if she hasn't been convicted, right? You haven't seen somebody testify that hasn't already had their trial. If they haven't had their trial, she can take her a 5th and 6th. I believe there's a combination of both. She does not have to testify. How's it going, Sky Troop? Hope you're having a good day. Okay, we'll get back to this jackass. Because I'm sorry, that's what he is right now. It's funny how his first name's Jack. It works. Hi, Marie. It's highly probable Donna's trial won't start until 2026 if Morris leaves, which is expected. Yep. That's what I said. If anything, it would start near the end of 2025. And that's being nice, B-Rabbit, right? That's being nice. What do they know that we don't? That's the steering these decisions. Honestly, Sky, I think they're afraid. I think they're afraid to do a double trial again. Georgia got bit the last time. She didn't like having to retry Katie. She got bit. So now they're doing the one at a time. It's just too much. It's enough's enough. I'm doing laundry. It's always there for you. It's nice to see you again. Okay, we'll get back to this, guys, and I'll have another bite to eat.
Back to them.
And I know, I believe Alex Morris had told us of a timeline between possibly November and February for that new trial, or I guess the existing trial to happen. Is that the understanding of the state attorney's office as well?
I think that's optimistic. I would be happy if that was true. As you all have seen in other murder trials, once again, everything I just said has to get ready to go again. We will be ready whenever the court says be ready. I mean, I could be ready in 60 days. Alex obviously has the unique perspective of knowing
I'll be ready in 60 days. What are you talking about? If the court said we're ready to go tomorrow, you'd be ready in 60 days. Why aren't you ready tomorrow? Why weren't you ready yesterday then? You should be ready at this very moment. 60 days. There's some more smoke up our ass, guys. Are they scared of Laurel? It's a good. That's a good one, B Rabbit. Maybe they are. Maybe they are scared of Laurel. Hi, Yendra. More speaking about a new strategy, etc. I think he's throwing the state off. You think he's throwing? Oh, the defense. You think he's throwing the defense off? I'm just so tired of the Markels sitting and waiting for justice. I truly am. I wish, you know what I wish? I wish I could speak to Katie and say, please, Katie, I beg of you, for the love of God, for the Markels, please just say everything you know. Like they're going through this over and over again to know that poor Phil was in the air on his way to see some justice for his son. And this happens. My heart breaks for them. Donna's case should be a lay down without Wendy's testimony. Absolutely. Oh, Yinder, I pray to God every day for, just, I'm not going to badmouth anybody, bad-mouthing Jack Campbell right now because he deserves it. But I just wish for her and her state of mind and all of this that she would just let it out. And I just let it out and let the Markels finally have some peace. I went through, what was it? Almost 2-3 years of trial stuff. And it done me in. I just want to cry thinking how much the Markels have went through. It's just not fair. It's just not fair.
What he knows and what he doesn't know. So as he's taking over as the lead defense attorney, he understands how long it would take him to get ready. But then you have the issue of, and we had a murder verdict came in last night. We had 2 murder trials last week. We have murder trials set for other families every week in, week out. We have over 100 people charged with murder in the Leon County Jail right now. Those families continue to wait.
Hello, Happy, my friend. Hello, X. I'm a talking mug right now. And Yinder says, I'm dying to see what these emails are that Yusuf called to the state about. Absolutely. Because not only did she call the state, Yindra, she called the Markel's lawyer first. She wanted to give this to the Markel's lawyer. And then they directed her to the states. So she went through the Markel's lawyer first. So that's some juicy stuff, I think. And we all know Rochelle got very angry with this comment earlier because every victim deserves justice. Everybody deserves justice. But if this jack-o'-lantern ever says on TV again that other people puts the Markels behind anybody else, he needs to be taken from his position. That was the most cold-hearted thing I've ever heard, ever. He really needed to have this script. How dare he put other people in front of the Markels? Do your job, get out there, arrest Wendy, get it done. Just get it done. Yindra says, I'm wondering if Wendy wrote her from a new email that the state doesn't know of. Yusuf was a colleague and a classmate. So maybe Wendy confided about something. Yep. Remember also she asked Sarah to go out when all this was going on to talk nice about her and all this. Oh, I'm sure there's some juicy emails. I bet you there's, for her to go to the Markel's lawyer first, she has something. She has something very important. There is no one that has been waiting longer than the Markels. Absolutely, Marie. Absolutely. Yes, there are other cases, I'm sure, but this has been going on for decades now. Don't you think that's long enough? Absolutely, X. And that's what got me mad when he said, well, there's other cases, there's this and that. I don't give a shit. What I give a shit right now about is the Markels finally, like he likes to say here, to think of their son and not think of him how he was and not about his murder. Give them that, Jack Campbell. Give them that. Arrest the stupid bitch that's out there that ordered this. Get her in jail and be done with it. Let the chips fall where they're going to fall. Because I guarantee you, if you've got Wendy in jail, you've got Harvey in jail, you got Donna in jail, you got Charlie in jail, someone is flipping. At this point in time, I no longer member of the Jack Campbell fan club. Yep. And you know what? And I'm going to say this, guys, because it just hit me. Just a thought that went through my head. You get all those effing Adelsons in jail, maybe, just maybe, Katie says something. Maybe she's afraid of saying something. I'm putting it out there. Justice needs to find out why piss poor Rashi claimed he wasn't even representing the others, but wasn't he allowing protected conversations, acting as their lawyer. Yeah, he played the system. Are they afraid of Wendy? Maybe. Who knows? Maybe Katie comes out and talks. Maybe finally Sigfredo comes out and talks. We saw how he looked at Wendy when she was leaving his trial. We saw that look. Maybe they speak up when Wendy's finally in jail. I think the Markels may be open to agreeing with a plea deal for Donna if she flips on Wendy. I agree, Indra. I agree. 100%. What career ambition does Jack have that are clearly influencing his approach? The Indras might be right. Maybe running to be a judge. I know Georgia was offered a judge position and she turned it down to take care of this case. He needs to be asked point blank, why hasn't Wendy been arrested? Why is this taking so long? Seriously, what's the answers to those questions? And exactly, the people there that were asking him questions, they were fluff questions. They didn't get to the point questions. Honestly, if you want to see my very first reaction to this video, go over to Crimes Unhinged and you're going to see my very first reaction. I'm just redoing this for my channel because, well, it's an Adelson channel. And tonight we're doing Sarah Boone. So to get ready for her trial. And that's another whack job. Oh, God. Why do all criminals have to be whack jobs?
For justice and resolution to their cases. And so as important as the Markel case is, we also have to have it coordinate, once again, with all the witnesses, with the court, with the prosecutors. Once again, Sarah Catherine and Georgia are working with other families. They've made promises there that they're trying to get justice for those. And so trying to get a situation where, quite frankly, we will probably
other families, guess what? I hope you get your justice. I truly do. But guess what? These people drag their effing feet. So know that. Don't think you're going to get justice right away because it's taken them 10 years just to get where we are now. I am so tired of these bureaucratic assholes shoving smoke up the Markel's ass. And that's exactly what they're doing. I'm tired of it. Yeah. Here's some bagels. I am eating because I thought I was hangry, but I'm not. I'm just mad. It's almost like fix is in. It must be. This is BS answer. Absolutely. BS answers. Raid of the Broken Baker. Hello. Welcome. Right, B Rabbit? Empty words, Jack Campbell. Empty words. There is no substance to his words. It's fluff answers. It's all, well, we need time or this, it's going to take time, and blaming it on the witnesses won't be able to get there. Maybe it'll be Christmas. Maybe it'll be Hanukkah. Oh, just enough with the excuses, people. Enough.
We have to move other murder trials out of the way if we were to do it. I know that Sarah Catherine and Georgia have multiple murder trials set after Markel. Now those would, so because we had set this aside, I know that they have trials set in October. I know they have trials set in November. December is a difficult time to try cases but because of the holidays. A lot of people travel. Obviously, there's the emotional, whether it be Hanukkah or Christmas, to trying to put this family through a trial during that time. All of those are issues that.
His voice is irritating me. Hello, we've got some Bakers fans in here. Hey, Sue, welcome. Usually, guys, I'm not a talking coffee cup, but I am today. Passing the buck and excuses, right, Chrissy? Absolutely. Becca, Baker raid. That's okay. I like a Baker raid. You guys are awesome. You guys have an awesome community over there. I'll just say that Rochelle and Baker said it today to you guys, that she sometimes goes off the rails over there. They go down a different rabbit hole. That's what we are doing today. We are angry. We're very angry over here. Hey, Jamie, enjoyed your show today. Okay.
We would have to coordinate. So I have no reason.
Oh, I just don't want to hear his voice anymore. You, sir, have orchestrated these delays 10 plus years and still counting. I'm disgusted and outraged. Yep. Absolutely. You know what? I would have shown more respect to this today if he would have come out and said, everybody messed up. Everybody messed up here. If he would have owned his shit, owned their shit, I would have not been as upset. Yeah, Benji, right? Holidays, small-a-days. Absolutely. I thought I already was subscribed. Damn it, YouTube. You have one gerb. Thank you. Chrissy, yes, be outraged. It's warranted. It is just too much for me. All Baker Raiders hot like that. That's all right. I don't mind the Baker Raiders. This whole thing is starting to stink. I'm looking at what happened in court on Tuesday through the lens of the BS answers. Absolutely, X. I hear you. Oh God, it's too much. 65 watching. Remember to hit that like button. Baker, Saturday, 4 p.m. at Jamie will be having her books and budget show, War and Peace Through the Eyes of the Modern Feminists. Oh, Jamie, can somebody post Jamie's link for any of our Crime and Coffee crew that haven't been there? Thank you for posting that, Baker.
Reason to disagree with what Alex said on that. He would know best how long it'll get him to be ready. But my experience is that the logistics, he is one part, and a very important part, but he's one part of a very large orchestra that has to be brought together, which includes Judge Everett's schedule, court reporter schedules, witnesses schedules, and all of these other people. As you've seen, we literally called dozens of witnesses. I don't know where they are supposed to be. And we cancel people's vacations on a regular basis, but it's a lot to ask. And you know, then you have
cancel their fucking vacations. The Markels have been waiting 10 years for justice. If somebody is so into themselves that they can't cancel a vacation to give this family justice, oh, the things he said is just unbelievable. From Baker's, Jamie, she is, I'm going to pull her up here. I seen her a minute ago. Where did I see you, Jamie? Oh, there she is. This Jamie's channel. If we can pull this Jamie's channel up, would be great. Okay. Is this the problem, people needing their vacations? I think not, right? Honestly, Chrissy, if somebody said to me, this poor family's been waiting 10 years to get justice, I would cancel my vacation. Absolutely. Read the room, Jack Campbell. You, sir, are tone deaf. Read the room. Carl said he didn't understand why nobody dealt with Rashi before Tuesday. I'm starting to wonder if it's a big design. I hate to be conspiratorial, but this guy is just giving excuses. I honestly, I've said right away since the other day, I think it was a big design on Rashi's side. I think he was leaving that puzzle piece stuck up his ass so his pseudo mummy could have it just in case of an appeal. But Charlie decided to throw a grenade. I don't know. I'm not going to say it was on the state side, but the states have eggs on their face because they should have demanded that Rashi be removed. And then he's going to say, oh, but that's part of the Sixth Amendment. We already know that those waivers are useless. At any minute, they can be changed. It wasn't going to go and get her an appeal. She could have used it to go for an appeal, but it would have been overturned. Thank you, Jamie. How many holidays have the Markels missed with their son and their grandsons? Right? The things that he threw out were so insensitive. It was unbelievable. I do not want to think that the judge that they were protecting the evil Adelsons is still moving his hand on this. The state looks so cautious, afraid, like walking on eggshells. Arrest the two evils now. Absolutely. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not saying George is bad. I'm not. I'm not saying that Sarah Dugan is bad. I'm not. I'm not saying that Judge Everett is bad. I'm not. I'm saying they all dropped the ball. And nobody at this moment from the state side has owned that they dropped the ball. They're making excuses for it. I don't agree with the excuses. Unless Morris gets a plea, he shouldn't trial represent. His partner at the time extended loss of judicial trust to him. The pretend wall built is all, yeah, he shouldn't. He should not. Harvey and Wendy, what are they waiting? Jesus, Maxim, I'm saying the exact same thing. This stinks to high heaven. Absolutely. And you know what? I'm wondering later on tonight how many other channels listened to this and didn't, not calling him out on his bullshit. This man is literally just giving one excuse after another for why they can't do their job. So why is he in this position? The state is starting to look incompetent. And who was it that said to me earlier? Is Charlie's words ringing true a little bit? Like, seriously, guys, you want Charlie to look like he was telling the truth about the lawyers in Tallahassee and stuff? Come on. Crazy to be dropping the ball at this stage of the game. Yep, you're right, Chrissy. Absolutely. Yep. It's Charlie's fault. He put no blame on the defense, no blame on the state, no blame on the judge. It was all Charlie's fault. It's the murderer's fault. Yes, they're there because of the murders. The trial fell apart because of the lawyers. Hey, Chris. Welcome to the shit show of Jack Campbell.
Is somebody having surgery? We already went one time, as you recall, when the lead detective had some cardiac issues and was unable. So there's just all of those types of logistical things that we try to bring together. We try to coordinate, and you're talking about trying to coordinate calendars of at least 100 people. And once again, to quote Judge Everett, we want to do it right.
I don't think it's that big of a conspiracy. I think that what it is they were all caught with their pants down at their ankles, and they all fucked up. Everybody owns a piece of this, and I don't think I don't see them trying to get any apes and off. I just think that they're so about getting one by one by one by one. They're blinded to all the issues that might happen. And they all dropped the ball on this waiver. They all dropped the ball. There's not one innocent lawyer in that trial, from Morris, Rashi, Sarah, and Georgia. There's not one innocent lawyer, and there's not one innocent judge either. Everybody dropped the ball. I'm confused. Hello, I didn't think you would be back till 9 tonight. No, this is breaking news, Deb. Breaking news. They are there at this point for Donna. He didn't even put blame on her or anyone else in the family. No, but he didn't really say Charlie either, right? He just said the murderers. The murderer. Friends, this level of incompetence is sus to me. Are we really going to believe that these excuses are in any way acceptable? This man is a joke with these answers. I agree with you. 100% X. If I lived in Tallahassee right now, I'd be outside his office demanding answers. I would be outside his office every bloody day till he gave the answers. I am deeply troubled. So am I, Chrissy. So am I. It's enraged me that Wendy is so sure that the state is not going to prosecute her. You have to have some panties to say that. Yep. Chris says, so why are we here? Is that to me, Chris, or to Jack Campbell? Right? I'm not sure who you're asking. They all turned trusted words. Thank you for clearing the fact that a waiver isn't solid. State uses him to vouch anything the defense would bring up. Judge focused on her case. Appellate law tops all. That's right. And I get what the judge, I get it. But even the judge should know that these waivers are not solid. He said it. He said it right on the bench yesterday. Or not yesterday, day before, whatever day we were, Tuesday. Yeah, Jack Campbell had a press conference. Oh, I'll go back to it.
So I want to do it in such a way that we can get justice. I want to do it in such a way that the community is ready to hear it. If I were to subpoena or summon 300 witnesses on Christmas week, I don't. That would be hard. So I think it could easily get past the holidays, and from there, I just don't know, because once again, we have these other trials, and where all of these attorneys will be ready. It's hard for me to speculate.
because they need to get those couple emails in. Sorry, guys, I was chewing. It's all about these damn emails. They need Wendy to get these emails in. If they arrest her, she's not going to testify. You know what? No, I wasn't muted. I was chewing. I still was chewing. They need to get these emails in. And I'm saying, if you're as smart as you say you are, find another fucking way to get them in. Honestly. Arrest her. Be done with it. All should have known after the effing extortion post flex pay option garbage. They needed to watch for tricks. Guilty G demanded her shady attorney no more. You sick Adelson's clean convictions. Yeah. Hey, Becca, I don't have anything, no sound, and it's not playing. No, so you should have sound. I have it on mute right now, Becca, because I'm speaking. But welcome. Okay.
Was this the fault of anyone in particular?
Yes.
Obviously our position is that it's the fault of the people who killed him. I wouldn't be doing a murder trial if I didn't have a murder. So I don't hold anybody lately to fault. I understand how it happened. It was something that the moment we found out that she was going to be represented by the same lawyer as her son, that there were possible conflict issues, we raised them with the court. We raised them with the defense. Clearly, we thought that they had addressed them through these previous waivers. We would.
But you didn't ask for the waivers to be put into court documents, did you? You didn't ask for them to put in into the court documents so everything was nice and clean, so you had something to go back on. No, you didn't. You believe fucking Rashi. You believe the weasel. Now you got egg on your face. The look on his face is telling. He looks like a fool here. This is bureaucratic answers and a pathetic one at that. How does he not realize how horrible state attorney's office looks right now? Absolutely. That's why I said, look over here. Don't look at us. Marie, I know, and it really gets to me, but she will get her shit soon, hopefully. Well, absolutely. Maxim, if they keep doing the one-on-one trials, Donna probably won't go to trial till early 2026. So that means it's going to be, so that's 11 years since Dan's been gone. No, sorry, 2026, because we're 2024. So no, that's 12 years, almost 12 years since Dan's been gone. Then they arrest Wendy. She's not going for a quick trial because she's going to have lawyers that are going to figure out every little angle possible. So you figure another year and a half, that's 13 and a half years before the Markels finally get justice. 13 and a half years. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. The only problem with the waiver argument, and I don't think Rash had it signed. No, he didn't have it signed. He admitted on STS that he had all three of them sign a waiver. And he said he didn't have it signed in court the other day. CA could withdraw that waiver anytime he wanted, including while on the stand. Absolutely. So these waivers are, toilet paper has more use than these waivers do. And that's why I say, if it would have been an appellate issue, it would have not got her anywhere. It wouldn't have got an overturned trial, wouldn't have got her a new trial, nothing. Because they're useless. They're just garbage. Jack defends Rash and insulates the LWOP. Prisoner holds more power than all other parties involved. Yeah, right, Jack. You're being offensive, sir. Justice for Dan Markel. Absolutely. After sitting in jail, Charlie said, F this, I hope he turns on his sister too. Sue, I'm thinking there's a reason he's still sitting in Tallahassee. And I think October 15th, he's still going to be sitting in Tallahassee. We'll see how that plays out. Yes, I believe Katie knows more, and they paid her already for her silence. She looks afraid. She knows more for sure. I think she does. And I think I scared Yinder off, but I'm sorry, Yindra, but this channel gets heated. If Wendy was in jail waiting for trial, there would be a little comfort in them all sitting in jail at least. Absolutely, Steph. Absolutely. At least the Markels would know that the people that murdered their son were not taking a stroll on a beach, not going out and having fancy dinners. There's some form of like, okay, they're where they belong at least.
Have gotten this far and done all the things we did if we didn't think we were going to go to trial this week. So is it somebody's fault? Yeah, I still hold the murderers accountable, all of them. But as far as is the delay somebody, I'm not, I don't have any malice towards any of the lawyers. I do believe in the Constitution, and what we're dealing with here is the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution, the right to counsel. And it was interesting because it's a double Sixth Amendment issue. She had the right to the lawyer of her choosing, which happens to be the same Sixth Amendment decision that her son. They both have the right to the lawyer of their choosing. So it really turned into mother versus son's right to Mr. Rashbaum. And put him in an untenable position where he finally pulled the ripcord. But that's kind of where we are is, we don't decide who somebody's lawyer is. It's a Sixth Amendment right to counsel. She had counsel. He had counsel. They actually chose to have the same counsel. We thought that we had covered the watershed or the waterfront with all the different conflict issues. We had brought it up. We had raised it with the judge. The judge had raised it with each of them. And we obviously had enough confidence that we did everything to get ready. Unfortunately, it didn't work out despite our best efforts. But there's nothing I think that we could have done differently because at our position, once again, you start Monday morning quarterbacking it. Okay, so if we had raised objections to Mr. Rapp,
Monday morning quarterbacking it. How about do your fucking job? How about that? Do your fucking job. No one said malice. How about owning it? Right, Chrissy? Own your shit. Own your mistakes. People will respect you more if you own your mistakes. What we're dealing here with is abuse of the Sixth Amendment. I agree, Bob. I agree.
Rashbaum representing Miss Adelson, that would have been a violation of her Sixth Amendment rights to be able to. That's the same right that allows people to represent themselves, which I think is a terrible idea, particularly in a murder trial. But once again, people every year choose to represent themselves on various serious charges. And it's the Sixth Amendment of our Constitution that guarantees that right, which is what we were dealing with here is she should be able to choose the lawyer that does it. It just came to a loggerhead where those two Sixth Amendment rights crashed into each other. Yep. And once again, you would have thought that mother and son would have been able to coordinate that and they had thought it through. I can't get into any of their minds, but that's where we ended up.
This wasn't the result of some intentional sabotage by somebody?
Nothing that I can find, nor could I think of. Once again, everything that I've seen, I believe that justice delayed is justice denied. I think this case has gone on way too long at this point.
No sabotage, he says. He wants to blame the murderers. Okay, I'll give you that. But he doesn't want to admit that a murderer by the name of Charlie Adelson sabotaged. He threw a hand grenade in on Tuesday and it went off. And you were all caught with your pants down. So he wants to give credit to them for that. He doesn't want to take any responsibility for their actions. And then he says, no sabotage. I was watching it. We were all watching it. We saw the sabotage.
I always want to bring justice to my victims as quick as I can. Just on a fundamental ideological standpoint,
Yep,
that I try to bring it so that they can move on. And as I tell my victims, I want them to be able to focus on how their loved one lived, not on how they died. Every time we do this, we're focusing on how he died. So I want.
So arrest them all, you son of a bitch. Quit with your fucking verbal diarrhea coming out of your mouth. Arrest them all so the Markels can soon focus on their son and not on how he died. I can't take this, guys. My head is exploding. He comes off as being in the old boys club, sticking up with Rash. Yep. I agree.
Want that for the Markels. On the flip side, I don't see any tactical advantage in this situation. Generally, cases as they get older, witnesses die, memories fade, things like that. I don't like older cases. I would rather get it done for logistical reasons as well. But here we were already fairly old. I don't think that this was set up. I have no villain that I can say. I think if they had, I have every reason to believe that if they had realized that we were going to be here, they would have got another lawyer on board, which is what you saw in those last hours with.
The last hours was Rashi scrambling to save his ass. That's all that was. Rashi would not have stepped down if Charlie didn't throw the grenade. He wouldn't have done what was right because he's just a despicable human being. Put the blame where it needs to be. I would be more than willing to stand behind Jack Campbell and be a cheerleader for Jack Campbell if he would own his own shit.
The judge and bringing in even new lawyers, trying to everybody kind of scrambling, can we save this? That to me speaks to the sincerity of the defense's wishes to go to trial.
So from the state's perspective, do you believe that this waiver issue could have been avoided or dealt with in any way before it came to the trial?
We thought we did. I mean, once again, we everything that we had a waiver. We had brought it before the court. We had a colloquy, which is just a conversation between Miss Adelson and the court. We had, people. We have done everything that we could think to do to stop this from happening. From best we can tell.
Absolutely.
Charlie Adelson, who clearly I've never spoken with, changed his mind, or certainly his lawyer represented that despite the earlier waiver.
Bye, Happy. Take care of yourself. Be safe.
He no longer agreed to that waiver. I don't have the advantage of knowing what Mr. Adelson was thinking. So while I blame Mr. Adelson for us being here in the first place, I can't speak to why he changed his mind or why he withdrew the waiver.
I know you spoke to the emotional impacts that this continuance has had on the community, as well as folks that work here for the state attorney. Can you kind of speak to, I know we said cost doesn't matter, but about how much all of this will cost to kind of push back? Yeah,
we're tens of thousands of dollars. We're calculating it now, but you had people who, everything from flights to like I said, the audio video people I bring in, very advanced. We don't normally have headphones for every juror. We do in this case. We don't generally have the courtroom set aside for this many weeks. We did in this case. So there was an extensive amount of effort internally. I've been involved in a lot of trials. I've not been involved in anything bigger than this one. Georgia Kappelman is one of the best trial attorneys in America. The amount of effort that she and Ms. Dugan, Sarah Catherine put forward, Jason Newland, who I think you all know. I mean,
well said, Happy. Well said. X says more than that. It's going to cost hundreds of $1,000s. So he does clear that up, X. He does clear it up.
They lived this case not just for a week, but for months and months. They planned their very lives as travel and to get themselves. To me, it's similar to the Olympics. They plan every 4 years for one race that will last 10, 15 seconds. That's not unlike what was done by our team, is that they had been planning, getting ready for this case in that type of intensity so that they could give the best effort. And I know the judge was bringing that same thing. I know the defense was going to bring that same effort. I know that the 12 people, whoever they're going to be, who are the jurors, are going to bring that effort. This is an important case for this community. We are literally being watched by the world. I think it's a wonderful example of the fact that we have a good criminal justice system in this country, because I'm getting contacted. I get emails regularly internationally about the way this case has been investigated, the outstanding.
Maybe we all should start sending Jack Campbell emails now about his press conference that he did. Let him know exactly what we think of this press conference. He's talking about how people are bragging him up and they're standing behind him. I wonder if those same people are going to send emails to him now saying what they actually think of what he said today.
Work of the Tallahassee Police Department, the outstanding work by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the outstanding work by our prosecutors. And so I'm very proud of the product that we have. I'm very proud of the team that we have. Financially, yeah, it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars, but it's really the emotional cost of how often people can get to that level of preparedness, emotionally and physically and intellectually. She's great, but I just rather not have to redline her quite so often.
When you say costing tens of thousands of dollars, is that the court's expenses?
No, that's this office's expenses. The costs are going to be more. The court would be more than that, but I'm talking about the state attorney's office. We have the burden of proof, so we are the ones who most of the evidence and witnesses we call, and so most of that has been done by this office. And just like you would assume, it's a lot like a duck. What you all are seeing is what's on top of the water. We're paddling pretty hard underneath.
Actually, what we're seeing, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck, Jack Campbell. And we're seeing it right now.
The water. And so, there are flights, there is travel, there are hotels, there are 100, depositions. There's a lot of work that's done that isn't seen in the courtroom, getting things ready. And once again, that has been done over the last 3 or 4 months.
And I agree with that, B-Rabbit. You are coming off as so condescending. I have secondhand embarrassment for you, sir. While all due respect, Georgia and Sarah Catherine Dugan are paid employees executing their roles. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what he should be doing right now, because the whole state has egg on their face, what he should be doing as the head of that snake is owning the egg on the face. Owning it. I will stand behind Georgia and Sarah Catherine Dugan. They are great at what they do. But he's the one that makes the call. Go for everybody or do one at a time. He's the one that makes this call. He needs to own this shit. It's going to cost more. He's lying about the cost. He doesn't want people to know how much it really is going to cost, more than he's saying. And correct me if I'm wrong, everyone. Isn't he up to be reelected into this position again? Isn't that coming up soon? I think I read that somewhere. I'll have to double check that. He just had to get through this interview, then back to business as usual. He just has to get through this interview, but he's getting through it very badly, Bob.
Months. Certainly through the summer, we've been getting ready for this trial that was going to begin here in September.
Mr. Morris mentioned after court on Tuesday that with him taking over as lead counsel and Mr. Baum leaving, that it could open the door to plea negotiations or negotiations with the state.
Sure. Mr. Morris is a great trial attorney. I think if he says that, I look forward to it. Once again, there's a reason why plea negotiations are supposed to be kept confidential, and so I'm not going to speak as to it at all. I can tell you, probably 99% of the cases this office handles are resolved through some type of negotiation. So we're willing to negotiate and talk. Have no fear. Nothing will be done without consultation with the Markel family. So there's nothing secret that will be done. We don't talk about it because.
What was funny there, sir? What was funny there? The Markel family. What was funny there, sir?
Candidly, for negotiations to go back and forth, the law requires it to be confidential on both sides. So if he wants to begin negotiations, I would love to do negotiations. We negotiate on the overwhelming majority of our cases. I look forward to talking to him about it. Once again, Ms. Kappelman would be the point on that, but I'm sure I will be consulted. But there's nothing secret that's going to happen where this would be. And I think the fear of a lot of people watching this interview or reading your paper, if there was a negotiation, it would all come out before it was finalized. So we would notify the media, the family would know, and there's no secret deal. Everything will eventually come out, but it begins in earnest through conversations back and forth. And so that would be.
Yes, he was. Alex Morris was skipping like Fred Astaire. Absolutely. Singing in the rain. Yep. He thought it was funny too. Oh, these people do my head in.
Just like we don't tell y'all while we're investigating a crime what our evidence is. We eventually show you our evidence in trial. That would be same with a plea negotiation. Just like anytime y'all come and see us pleading a case out, the terms of the plea are all discussed. The family is consulted, and we'd be able to talk about it. But it's way too early at this point to anticipate if the negotiations will go anywhere and what any terms would be. That would be speculation at this point. And I heard that interview and watched it and was interested when I saw it. And so I look forward to talking to him. I've worked with him for 20 years now. I trust him when he says that that's an effort that he would like to take. So.
Do you trust him like you trusted Rashi? Come on, man. Just own it. Do the world a favor. Do yourself a favor first. Take the shit that you're dishing out and toss it and just own your shit. Honestly, we all should have had chest waders on and brought a shovel to this shit show. Honestly. He looks like he's lacking empathy. He looks like a man who doesn't feel anything for the market. 100x, 100. Y'all know what's really sad. I started following trials because politics was making me insane. I was quite naive. It is a good thing that it's Friday Eve. Thank Christmas Eve because I will be needing a drink later. Oh, Chrissy, you're leaving. Thank you for joining us, Chrissy. Yep, the old boys club. The buck stops with you, sir. It's why you are paid the big bucks. You are the conductor of this orchestra, sir. Yep. It is. Simple. Arrest Wendy. Hello, Bosch. Welcome to Crime and Coffee. Shit. Yep. Already drinking Sue is. Like to see all these new people. Hopefully we'll get a sub from them. What up, homie? I just poured one.
Sounds good to me. But candidly, Miss Adelson continues to have her Sixth Amendment right, so she may hire a totally different lawyer, or she could fire Mr. Morris. I don't know what she's going to do. And so I've learned over the years, don't count on anything until it's final. And so that's where right now, everybody, I think to use his word, he's regrouping. My guess is that she is too. We certainly are. Boosh. We'll take the next step when the next step gets there.
I apologize. Boosh. Sorry about that. What Lynn says, terrible, these entrenched swampos. Yep. Even from a political perspective, this is a terrible oppressor. He's not even a good politician. He sucks as a lawyer, in my opinion. Harmonious ain't got shit on me.
Yesterday when I checked the roster, Katie, Charlie, and Lewis are still in the Leon County Jail. I know you don't have authority over the jail. Do you know about how long they'll be there?
So we don't talk about jail transports. You're right. I don't run the jail. The sheriff does. But we specifically, even if I did.
Sorry, guys. Turn that off. She hired a totally another lawyer. That's Harvard stuff right there. Harvard stuff right there.
Did know, and they're not going to tell you, is for obvious security situations, just like the old movie. If we told you what day he's going to be on I-10, that would put that jail in jeopardy. So there's 0% chance of us telling you, yeah, we're flying him out at 4:54 on Delta, such and such, because we wouldn't want to do anything that would allow something to compromise security to him or to the people that are guarding him. And so same with her and same with all these other witnesses. Logistically, it's more complicated than you can imagine. Prisoners are moved all over all the time. You know, singles are not the preference, I think, for finance. There's usually a bus. So it's not just them. It's whether they're going from this location to that location, and you're coordinating with prisons. So not only is it secret, it's fairly complicated. So I have no idea. It gets to be a financial and a logistical issue on when they would actually move them.
But they will be moved before the trial.
As far as they don't have to move them, but I certainly would assume that they would move them because for a lot of reasons. So we don't need them here. And so it gets to be a financial decision on when they do that. With some of with the federal situation, you actually get into some legal issues concerning when the U.S. Marshals wants to take them things there and who's paying. That's why I was kind of getting. I mean, you have one prisoner that's being held in another state, so he's clearly South Dakota, and that gets into an agreement between the Florida Department of Corrections and the South Dakota Department of Corrections, whatever you call it there. You obviously get between the U.S. penitentiary system and the Florida Department of Corrections for another. And then once again, Katie is in a Florida prison, so that's a little bit easier. But once again, you got a lot of different moving parts, and each of them would be unique. But for instance, they're all isolated from each other, so that makes it even more complicated. I can't put them on the same bus. So things like that. And then you have, male, female, I got to separate them. And so, I mean, like I say, it gets more logistical than you can imagine.
And going back to a possible plea, are you able to say whether the state has previously ever offered Don?
And this is exactly my point, guys. This is why I'm so angry. Irene, he doesn't care, friend. That's plain to see by this dumpster fire. This is soul crushing for the Markels. If it is soul crushing for us, if it is making us this angry, can you imagine how they feel right now? If it's even, we're probably only like a drop out of a dropper angry and hurt and upset compared to what the Markels are. This is why I'm so angry. This guy is showing nothing for the Markels. Nothing. He's talked about how the mistakes are on the murderers. Okay, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Absolutely, I get that. But then he talks about how, there's other murder cases, there's other trials, there's the people that might want to go on vacation. I can't even with this guy. As per Carl's advice, vacate your position if you're not up to the job. Yep, B-Rabbit, absolutely. I went to his philosophical ideas of being I can't even say the word right now. I'm so angry, douchebag. It's sickening. Yeah, it's sickening. I am thinking if they arrest Wendy, Katie will talk. I think so. I said that when Yindra was in here. I think when they get the Adelsons off the street, Katie may talk. There's something that's still scaring her. I can't hear the questions. At Crime and Coffee, I can't hear the questions. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying there. Hi, best mods. Hope you're well. Hey, Young. Haven't seen you for a while. Young, great to see you again. Okay. Oh, I'm so hot. I'm overheating. Or I'm so mad. I'm overheating.
No, I'm not gonna get into any plea negotiations at all. Once again, it's inappropriate to do, and there's a specific reason. Just like me not talking about the other facts in a case, the part of the rationale for plea negotiations.
As soon as I thought about it for a second, I understood what you're saying. Yeah, it's hard to hear the questions.
And I'm making something up, but if I had somebody charged with a crime and you all heard that he had agreed to plead to some tremendous amount of prison, people might infer that there's no way he would plead that unless he knew he was guilty. And so I don't want to say or do anything about plea negotiations that would possibly bias a future juror by saying, oh yeah, we're on the cusp, or, there's no way there's going to be negotiation the other direction. Hey, that means the state doesn't really believe in their case. It can go both ways on that. So for those reasons, it's inappropriate for me to kind of get into the details until it's actually locked down, because once again, it's going to take a lot, because of media like this, it's going to take a lot of people to find someone who hasn't heard and possibly been biased by the news on this story. And I certainly don't want to create any more by them saying, hey, I watched Jack Campbell being interviewed on September 19th. And based on that, I can't be.
Hey, yeah, guys, I watched Jack Campbell being interviewed on September 19th, and I realized how much of a jackass he is. Oh, please, this guy's a joke. He's just flapping away at this point. Yep, he is. Prostrating to the media. Yeah, now he's going to blame the media. Yep.
Fair and impartial. So I don't want to add to that problem.
But it sounds like it's accurate to say the state attorney's office would be open to negotiating.
We're always open to negotiations, even if the negotiations, sometimes our negotiations are fairly harsh. We make plea offers of life imprisonment on a regular basis, but we're still willing to talk. And there's never been a case that we haven't talked to the defense. It's a ethical, appropriate part of the process, and we're certainly willing to talk to anybody, including who knows about this case. If there are other witnesses out there who know something about this case, we'd love to hear from you, because and certainly we would love to hear. We want to find justice for this family wherever that leads us.
Knowing that hindsight is 2020, but looking back, could you all have done more to prevent this? Yes. The judge could have ordered that Rashbaum not be done as attorney, right?
Possible, but then you probably would have created an appellate issue on that he denied her the counsel of her choosing. So keep in mind that everything that
this guy, he says he's willing to talk to anybody, Rochelle. That is your in. He does not want to hear from me. He does not. Because I will stand up for any victim, and I will use my mouth, and I will be loud, and I will do whatever it takes for any victim. I know what it's like. I've been in those shoes. And this guy is making me so mad because he's so disrespecting the Markels right now. I lurk here often at night when I'm working and appreciate the streams. Just been working a lot. Oh, I'm glad you're lurking.
the judge does will be subject to appellate review. So anytime you'll notice that the way that the criminal justice system is set up, great pains are taken
Absolutely.
to ensure that the defendant constitutional rights are maintained. That's the Fifth Amendment. There are great pains, all that I'm talking about, pretrial publicity, the entire constitutional framework of the criminal justice system is based on protection of the innocent and maintaining the constitutional rights of those who are charged. So, yes.
Is there no constitutional rights for victims? Do the victims not have any rights? Because I know in Canada they don't have any rights. So, do they not have rights in the States? This guy. But I'm stalking her in return. He sounds bored. Yeah, he just sounds like I'm having great pains from your interview here, Jack, old boy. Yep. It's unbelievable.
The judge could have done some other things. Could he have been found to have violated her rights by doing it? He could. So we might have, hindsight you bring up. He may have just saved us from a reversal because, if he had forced it, then we could have ended up in a situation where, okay, 9 months ago, Rashbaum's gone. Jack Smith becomes the lawyer. Jack Smith loses, she gets sentenced, and then a subsequent appellate court says she complains that I didn't want Jack Smith, I wanted Rashbaum, and they reverse the conviction because she was denied the constitutional lawyer that she had wanted at the time. So you have to be careful about Monday morning quarterbacking those judges. They are very mindful. We do. Judge Everett is a smart and experienced judge. They were very good.
And I get that. I understand having rights for defendants. I get it. But as a victim myself, I can clearly speak to how much more rights a defendant, a criminal, whatever they've done, murderer, SA, DA, any of it, the victim gets the shitty end of the stick every single time. Then you get crackpots like Jack Campbell sitting doing a press conference, blah, 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 and not one thing, not one amount, not 1 ounce of being sorry that the Markels are going through this. I get it. I get 100% innocent until proven guilty. But I'll tell you from my point of view, when you got a victim advocate that says to the victim, here's a coloring book and crayons. This will help you keep your mind off of being sexually assaulted, beaten, cut up, all of this. But you know what? The guy that did it is sitting in what is like a Club Med, a jail. There needs to be innocent till proven guilty. I 100% agree with, but there truly needs to be a mind change in a lot of people that there's a limit. There's a limit to this. And when people start standing up for the victims, even while the person's not proven guilty yet in a court of law, but that needs to be weighed out a little bit better. Needs to be weighed out a little bit better. Exactly. Strong victim advocate here. I agree 100% guilty or innocent until proven guilty. But that scale is tipped way too far in one direction. He make a point here, but didn't the state see this coming? It's like they got caught with their pants down. Absolutely. But X, we all know, and we've heard our lawyers say, if they would have made Rash step down, sure, she could have used it as an appeal issue, but it still wouldn't have got her a new trial. The whole waiver thing would have been looked at by an appellate court, and it would have been tossed out. Sue says, every time coffee, I've been on that side of it. It's infuriating. It is absolutely infuriating. The scales are tipped too far in the wrong direction. Too far. Rabbit, you said it right. In my opinion, the pendulum has swung far too far in favor of defendants and the convicted. Yep. Absolutely. Technically, the state representing the victim does have some rights as well, but the system does indeed seem to value less victims than others. Like 95% of SA doesn't get prosecuted. Yep. I was told during my sister's trial, where she had been stabbed to death by a complete stranger, that I could show no emotion during the trial. It blew me away. So my victim impact statement, I had to rewrite my victim impact statement 3 times. This is why I say criminals get more rights. Each time that I had to rewrite my victim impact statement is because he got to read it first and decide what I was not able to say. He had the right to read my words, how I felt at that moment, and edit me. He then sent it to his lawyer. His lawyer sent it back to the Crown Attorney with what I was allowed to say and what I wasn't. How is that right? That's me saying the pendulum has swung way too far. This is what I'm saying. Victims don't have equal amount of rights as a criminal does. A victim isn't telling the truth until proven. They instantly have to prove it. A criminal is innocent until they are proven. But a victim is looked at, are you lying? Are you doing this? Are you trying to get somebody in trouble for no reason? It's not the same way. It's just not the same way. It's just not. If Adelsons were poor, they'd been in prison years ago. I agree with it. I agree with it. Wealthy defendants get more as well. It's been critically proven in many different situations. All the talk about not being biased is one directional. They can talk all day. Data shows different. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a huge advocate for innocent until proven guilty, but as a victim, the pendulum has gone way too far. Again, it's all political. Sue, I agree with you. X Young Black, you just nailed it, friend. If this was a poor person, we wouldn't be going through any of this. It's what makes all of this so sad.
Lawyers in front of him doing a lot of legal research on Tuesday, and we did it historically when we were dealing with this earlier. I think that we had it right, but at the same time, if he had forced it, we might have actually taken 2 steps back, and that would be even worse, to end up with going through a trial and then get it reversed because of something like that. So I mean, I don't ever want to sow error. Once again, as I told y'all, I mean, I have a lot of conversations with families of homicide. I really want to bring closure. I can't bring them back. I want them to be able to focus on how their loved one lived and not on how they died. This process.
Whoa. I went through public school. Everyone is a victim of something. These days, it's much easier to claim. The way he said good morning was way too personal. I hope you're not meaning what I think you're meaning. I'm going to take a minute and chill out from that comment. And I hope you're not meaning what I'm thinking you're meaning. This case, unfortunately, is multi-layered case study in what is broken in our society. Absolutely. Not that kind of victim, sir. We're talking about violent crimes. Please read the room. Yeah, that almost got me. I'm going to zip my lips so I don't get banned. You're not going to get banned, Irene. I would never. When would I ban you? Never. Okay. You're right. Sorry, I'm speaking in generalities. Okay. That's why I took a minute. I was like, whoa. Rochelle, I always told myself that courthouses and laws weren't made for good people who know how to behave. The rights, procedures, and lawyers are there for criminals, victims not thought of. Sad. It's thank you, Michael, because you're a former officer. Thank you for saying that. If a former officer can point out that the victims are not thought of, that speaks volumes. Thank you, Michael. Bosh, I love you, dude, but until you see a victim of a serious crime, i.e. murder, essay, etc. Yeah, that's why I didn't say nothing. I just, all you heard me say is, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I would never block you.
Is all about how they died, which is generally the worst thing that's ever happened to these families. And so I would rather close that chapter, and finality is important.
It could, again, hindsight being 2020, but could the state have filed a motion sort of saying we object to Mr. Rashbaum?
Sure. Yes, we certainly could have done that, at which point either the judge grants our motion or doesn't. But whether the judge rules in our favor.
You're good. You're good. You're good, Boosh. We figured it out. You're good. I hold no hard feelings. I promise you that. No hard feelings. Michael, the lawyer you know, said it best for me. We all know where the line is, and the further away we stay from it, the less we have to explain. Son, why didn't you do that? For my sanity, I blocked someone. Too triggering. Oh, I'm not sure who you blocked. Just was wondering if this was a plan to get your rights violated to be exonerated. Donna's very underhanded. Just was wondering if this was a plan to get her rights violated to be exonerated. Again, Marie, I'm going to say I don't think Donna had anything to do with this. I think this was Rash holding a secret that he was hoping to be able to give to Donna if she got convicted. And this is Charlie knowing about that secret and Charlie throwing a hand grenade. Somebody pass the mashed potatoes, please, and thanks. Okay, we'll finish this off
because we ask them to, or does it on their own. If it's a violation of the Sixth Amendment, either whether the judge does it sua sponte on its own motion or based on state motion, if it's a violation of the Sixth Amendment rights, it could lead a appellate issue out there that could subsequently frustrate the conviction. So either way, whether the judge did it on his own or Georgia and Sarah Catherine had come forth and said, hey, we want to get Rashbaum off of this, we could have very easily it would still hang out there that she would have an appellate issue. I don't have the lawyer I want. And that's, once again, the Sixth Amendment. Bill of Rights are pretty hard to law. I mean, that's pretty strong stuff. So you don't mess around much with the Bill of Rights when it comes to the right to the counsel of your own choosing. It is so good. And once again, the colloquy that's called the Ferretta colloquy, we tell people, you know, it's a very bad idea to represent yourself. You're making a mistake. I mean, literally, this is, I mean, you
What does this have to do with
probably
the
heard
case we're
those
looking
in
at?
court where we do those colloquies. We let people do because we put their right to the Sixth Amendment even ahead of our professional judgment. And I think any lawyer and judge in the country would agree that self-representation.
Boosh, you'd be reading a lot. It's more than 30 pages. This so far is, this would have been the 4th trial in this case. So you'd be reading a lot.
In a first-degree murder case is a bad idea for someone who doesn't have legal training. You know, and so that's why that's the power of the Sixth Amendment, and that's the power that we would have been messing with by trying to trump either through our motion or through the judge doing it on himself, and say, well, I'm going to tell Rashbaum he can't do it.
Have you ever seen anything like this happen before, like a trial
No.
getting derailed?
No. Well, yes, I've seen lots of trials get derailed, but I mean, they happen for a lot of reasons. I mean, I was personally in a trial and my retina detached and so, I mean, things happen. I mean, you know, if you do this, you know, things happen and, you know, stuff comes up. I've never seen a mother-son. That was weird for us all. When Mr. Ashbaum came back in, have I seen that before? No, I have not. So I haven't seen this type of issue arise, but people getting sick, people, you know, hurricanes, that seems pretty routine around here. Case gets continued because of hurricane, all kinds of medical and personal issues come up where you end up with it. That's kind of the logistics we were talking about. I mean, that's why we stack so many.
And Sue, I would say way more than that. Just Wendy's divorce filings are over 800 pages. Just the divorce filings. And then there's like 10,000 text messages, just Charlie alone. With all due respect, this case is not a place to bring informed Horrocks, definitely informed. Yeah, it's a very heated time. It's a very heated time. All I got was money, mom, Graham, uncle killed dad for custody. So the uncle, the grandmother, the ex-wife, the brother, the grandfather hired a hit woman, which hired her ex-boyfriend, also hired his friend to go and kill the ex-husband. So there's 4, 5, 6, 7 people involved in this murder. Yep, exactly. 400 hours of wiretaps. It's a big, big case. True coffee, it's probably more like 30,000. Yeah, it's a lot. It truly is. Okay, that's enough. That's just enough. I'm sorry. I respect the channel that you come from, absolutely, but that's enough. If you can't understand that you stepped in something and just apologize for stepping in it and leave it at that and don't throw any more mud, then that's enough. And I'll tell you right now, my mods do not suck. They're top-notch mods. Yeah, one too many Guinnesses. One too many.
Many cases up for trial because, I mean, most weeks we'll have 4, 5, 6, 7 trials set on the docket, and then 1 or 2 will go because something comes up. A witness has become unavailable. A legal issue. We found a report that nobody saw. Those types of things. Yeah, that happens, unfortunately, quite a bit because in today's, particularly in a case of this size, I mean, the amount of information that we have now is gigabytes. I mean, multiple. One of the things we did, we had to get our standard laptops can't hold all the information that this case entails. So I'm literally had to take and clean out one of my.
I've made it very clear on this channel that if somebody comes in and they're interested in the Adelton case, the more the merrier to help bring justice to the Markels. If somebody asks a question, I'm more than willing to stop and answer it. I'm more than willing to direct them to find what they're looking for, to get caught up on the case. Anybody that knows me knows I do that. I will not have somebody disrespecting victims, and I won't have anybody disrespecting the chat. This is a community. We're like family in here. I will not allow somebody to disrespect the chat. Thank you, Sky. And my mods, you don't suck. You're the top notch.
My IT's laptops that had a big enough server and to handle all this information and prepare it. So, I mean, when you're talking about that volume of information, I mean, that's a good example of the logistics that we're dealing with here. I mean, it was my computers couldn't handle it. So you've got a lot of moving parts, and that's what I mean. It's a testament to the intelligence of Sarah Catherine and Georgia on the fact that they can keep all of that in their head, that they're overdoing the computers. But you know, that's a lot of moving parts. So if Corbett got into a car crash, that would be an issue for me. I'm not hoping, but y'all know that Corbett's a pretty big witness. If the guy who did the bump, you know, he's literally in hiding. You know, we bring him out. If somebody goes and starts because of another case he did, and we're to start trying to hunt him down, that would be a big to do. If my judge, this is now the third judge that, keep in mind, that we're dealing with this case. I mean, Judge Hankinson, of course, is now passed. Judge Wheeler was on it. And now, I mean, my third judge, another thing that could happen. I mean, like I said, I can't think of all the different, you know, like I say, hurricanes, all kinds of things that we see where the best laid plans, where I've seen big trials get continued at the last hour.
So it has happened before that it would, you know, happen on the day of jury selection.
Sure. We have mistrials that happen in the middle of trial. So, I mean, you know, things.
Sue says, honestly, I only give an answer if I know it for a fact. Funny thing is, when you've been a real victim of a violent crime, your discriminant is better. No true victim wants the wrong guy in jail. Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. But like you know, Sue, I know, and a lot of people in this chat knows. The victim don't get the same amount of consideration or rights that a criminal does. He's laughing. It's complete and inappropriate. He's so unprofessional. Absolutely, X. This blew my mind. And Bob, that sandwich sounds lovely. Yep, eating healthy does not have to suck.
Right now, we're getting bomb threats. They, you know, that used to be something when I was in high school, and somebody saying something in front of the rest of the jurors that they shouldn't have heard. That's often probably the most common type of mistrial we get is, you know, I met him when we were in prison. Motion for mistrial. You know, we got it because they weren't supposed to know about this. So yeah, there's lots of different things we plan. You try to do best laid plans of mice and men do sometimes go astray. You try to do it. So yes, I mean, everything from the biggest thing is always comes down to the people. And there's just a lot of key people. If Everett couldn't go, it would take a while to get a new judge. Campbell couldn't go, it would take me a while to get a prosecutor ready. If Sarah Catherine couldn't go, I've already replaced one.
I agree, Sue.
We had a different prosecutor no longer works here who was on the first trial. So, but Sarah Catherine is a integral part of this team. I wouldn't be able to just slap in another prosecutor. Nobody else is ready to do what they do. So, and that's why I'm not surprised that when I saw Mr. Morris come out and say, you know, I'm not ready to step in the first chair. Of course he's not. You know, Georgia's as good as they come, but if they lost Sarah Catherine, she needs a second chair. This is a big enough case that she needs a second chair, and she's prepared in a
I'm
contingency
glad you did
for
too.
having someone sitting there. So even if she could do it by herself, she hasn't planned to.
Did I hear you say that the FBI agent that did the bump is in hiding?
Sure. That's why he's the guy. He was an undercover.
Oscar Jimenez.
Yeah, but I mean, he worked under. He was an undercover officer for lots of times. That was what he did. So when I say he's in hiding, his look just you shouldn't be able to find out where I live. But he was out there buying drugs and working on gang hitmen, like cases like this. He was the kind of guy who was doing things like this. So, you know,
So he's in regular hiding than anybody in his business would be?
we don't talk about where he is or what he's doing, because this wasn't the only case he worked on. And so once again, that's the reason, you know,
Yes, we do, Deb.
that's the reason that he was utilized. He was deep undercover. So I'm not particularly worried about this one case, but I don't know. I honestly don't know what other cases. I just know he worked more than one case. And so when you have somebody that was working deep undercover, you try to protect the safety of them and their families long term. So once again, while he comes here and we're real hesitant to put him on the stand, the only reason he's able to testify now is because he's no longer doing it. But you know, if somebody were to see him on TDO and find out, and he's sitting there trying to buy drugs from a motorcycle gang, he would get killed for it. I mean, that's the stake that with undercover officers get. I mean, he can't do that.
I mean, you said you'd never seen anything with a, son and a mother. Were you saying
I've never seen two family members.
two family
I mean, on anything like this, it's one of the reasons why when we get a big case with multiple co-defendants, you end up having to we get a lot of lawyers in the room, because conflict is often the issue. Co-defendants all get their own lawyers because they're similarly. If the three of y'all started murdering me, y'all would all, you should get your own lawyer, because you're going to the two of y'all are going to testify against him. You're going to, because each.
Oh, I didn't get you wrong, Stu. Don't get me wrong. I don't need a safe space. I just know how this system fucks you over. Yep. And I think that because a lot of us and some of us are victims, or we know victims, I think the fact is we can see the bullshit a lot clearer than other people. He's irritated in mindless babble. Yeah, mindless babble. It's ridiculous. It's one of the reasons why I don't know what the F I'm doing. Jack could have kept this to 5-second max. I was just thinking that, B. I don't give a F what anyone thinks. Yep. He would have been better off doing a 2-minute clip of just saying mistakes were made and we're regrouping and we're going to get this done and we're going to find justice for Dan Markel. He would have been better off just doing that. I honestly, yeah, I think so too. I didn't think anyone got me wrong. I was just saying. You must give Campbell credit, though. He had the courage to get up there and say blah, 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 blah. I guess we could give him that.
Each of y'all are going to want representation on that. That's the normal, even if the three of y'all have planned to murder me, y'all and did it all, everybody took a punch, you still should get your own lawyers. And so I've never seen, it was extraordinary to the whole legal community. Every lawyer saw, it was like when Mr. Ashbaum said, I'm representing, we were like, wow. Okay.
Okay, so if it was so extraordinary, Jack Campbell, and it was something you've never seen, do you not think you should have overturned every rock, asked every possible question, dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's? To me, I'm thinking if it was so unusual that you would be digging and digging to find a way to make sure this wouldn't have happened. So, you just stepped in it again, Jack Campbell. You just showed how you were not prepared.
Okay. And that, I think you'll find, you talk to a lawyer, we would all say, well, that's interesting.
So never seen two co-defendants.
I've never seen two co-defendants to have the same lawyer.
Will this change in counsel?
I
think
100%
Justice
agree,
briefly
Young.
Earlier, but will this affect the case at all? Will you all recalibrate your approach in any kind of way, do you think? Or there may be a different defense than there was previously?
Definitely maybe a different defense, but I don't know what it is. I won't know their defense until they start using it. And so we're prepared for a lot of different contingencies. And so we were prepared for the last one. We'll be. It's nice to know who you're playing against. I mean, like any other thing, like you and I play tennis. I know we've got a strong serve. You know, I have a weak backhand. You're going to play me differently than somebody else.
No.
Georgia had done a trial with Mr. Ashbaum, so I had an understanding of what Mr. Ashbaum does. You've seen female lawyers in this case, defense attorneys. You've seen male defense attorneys on this case. You've seen that, so yes, everybody's different. I'm not going to say better or worse, but everybody is unique in their style. But certainly the defense they could incorporate could be different. So we're studying and making minute by minute decisions, which is part of the reason why we weren't going to get locked in on whether or not we could potentially call him as a witness. When Georgia said,
Exactly. Actually, certainly weren't prepared for this, were they? No, he just said it. If you don't know something, what do? You go and look for the answers. You make sure that you're speaking right. You're doing everything. And in this case, you're worried about an appeal issue. Why would you not have known the answers? This guy drives me nuts. I don't understand if he was saying that as hypothetical or that they actually hang out on the weekends playing tennis. They probably do. Probably do. He sounds like he's in on it. He's not making himself sound good, that's for sure. This sounds like introduction to third grade. What a freaking steaming pile this guy is. Yep. Sky, you're right.
Is Charlie going to be a state witness? I'm not going to commit one way or another because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what questions they're going to ask. I don't know what other witnesses they're going to call.
Right. I think I heard her say that they were planning to have him for rebuttal, but you never know.
But you never know. And I mean, that's almost every time I do a trial, even after I've called a witness, I say subject to recall because, once again, three of y'all murder me. If they start blaming you, I'm gonna want to put you up there and say, hell no, they thought it was their idea. But I won't know that until they start throwing you under the bus. And so I've got to have the flexibility to move, particularly with the defendant's statement, which we don't know until they're on the stand. We can't take their deposition, Fifth Amendment, right? So we don't know what the defense will be until they raise it. And the first time we start seeing that is in opening statements. But you can even tell some stuff by the kinds of questions they're asking on jury selection and the kinds of, who's on their witness. I mean, there's nothing that we're not watching and trying. And it's a pretty big chess game.
For the record, we're not going to murder you.
I appreciate that today. I appreciate that, but it's nice. It's easier for me to do hypotheticals.
Yes.
So other questions?
I'm good.
I'm
You're
good
still
too.
my question.
All right, good.
Doesn't matter.
Once again,
We're getting
no,
the same response.
you're good. You got some background in it. All right, yeah. No,
It is.
yeah. I don't know. I said I'd love to know. I'd love it if it go in November. God, they'd be happy.
When do you think, after February, then you think, like spring or summer?
Usually I tell people that
Right, Bob?
right now a fast one is a year. This is
Right.
Alex told y'all that the other day.
Right.
It's like y'all got to recognize this is 10 months since
Right,
we charged them,
exactly.
which is extremely fast.
Right.
The murders We just tried.
What a shit show. I'm actually going to change the thumbnail. I think I'm going to get a picture of him, picture a bunch of assholes and him blowing smoke out of his mouth. I wonder if I get in trouble for posting that as a thumbnail. Bob and I, quote, the judge said, "It's as clear as the nose on my face," right? And I honestly think Judge Everett needed the state's attorney to bring it up. And they didn't. Besides, they weren't prepared here because many people brought up this as a possible issue and no one did anything about it. And that's what I said. For us to see this and us to know it was an issue, he's sitting there saying, come on. Come on. Michael, just as DRs ask other DRs when faced with difficult medical cases. So don't judges, prosecutors, defense lawyers. Not sure Campbell did. I don't think he did. Rochelle, post the thumbnail. The motto of the SAS is "Who dares wins." I'm going to have to call you and ask you what you mean by that. Oh, please make that thumbnail. I really want to. They turned off the feed because everyone started to realize he's a joke. This made the office look worse than it did before. Absolutely, it did. We saw it. Everyone saw it, for fuck's sakes. Absolutely. Everyone saw it. Everyone saw it. Well, guys, I'm going to end it here. I have to make an important phone call. My dad called in, so I got to check and make sure everything's all right. You don't know the SAS, Christ, I'm among heathens. I'm sure as soon as you say it, I will know it, but right now I'm not getting it. Oh, that just took a lot out of me. Unbelievable. Yeah, I should just, maybe they won't let me put pictures of asses on the thumbnail, but I could put Jack Campbell is full of shit on the thumbnail. Night, Young. I don't mind calling him out. Thank you. Thank you, Young. That's so greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Oh, you're right, X. This just gets worse every passing day. "22 SAS is invented special forces and were the inspiration for the Delta Force." Okay. You're talking American military. I get you now. I love your channel. I'll definitely be back. And bonus, no one's going to care if I cuss. Nope. You're not going to get in trouble for cussing in here. Oh, SAS is British. Okay. Rochelle's going to have to look that up because I don't know it. But I'm sure if it's British, then we have the same kind of lingo here in Canada. So I'm just not up on it. I'm not with the cool kids. Special Air Service. Okay, so we call it Special Air Force. And then we have we used to have our airborne. They got disbanded because they were bad boys. So now they call them the Jump Platoon. Same thing, just different name. They're still bad boys. they were doing hazing and they weren't supposed to be doing hazing. But somebody ended up losing their life in the hazing. All paratroopers are bad boys. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody lost their life in the hazing. So went on for many, many years and generations. One person lose their life, they got disbanded. But now they just put them under a different name. That's all it is. Okay, my friends, I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to check in with my dad, and then I will, hopefully everything's okay. If the thumbnail comes down for 9 o'clock, you will know things are not okay. If the thumbnail's still up there, you know I'll be here. You know I will be here. And I'll leave you with our outro.